Do you know how like some people say they grew up on, they watch Toy Story or, the Harry Potter films? Like, I can't really say that for The Incredibles because it took like 14 years for a sequel. Hmm. Brad Bird makes his return as the director of Incredibles, in this case Incredibles 2. I was very much looking forward to this film because I grew up liking The Incredibles. I love the idea of at least this superhero family. So I really wanted to see more of it, and I did get a lot of that. This family or group environment superhero storytelling, whether it be through Avatar: The Last Airbender, which was kind of a superhero show. There wasn't enough of Incredibles when it first came out. I remember playing the video game non-stop once I got my first Xbox. I really did love, well, I can say franchise now. Hopefully it becomes a franchise, not just a sequel, because there's a lot of potential in The Incredibles in terms of storytelling. Because coming from this Pixar-orientated, family-orientated studio wanting to tell stories which are not only entertaining but give very interesting messages about whether it be parenthood or just themes on family. Now, I remember when the first trailer dropped for the film, I wasn't too sure whether Incredibles 2 was in the same vein as the first one. Now, I haven't rewatched the first one recently. However, I do remember the story. I really did enjoy this film. I thought it was well paced. It had good comedic dialogue when needed. It showed off a lot more of this balanced tone, like this subtle idea or exploration of this idea of family and juggling kids and juggling work. Subtly, it was explored subtly, which that's what I love about all films. I think not even just animated films. When there are topics inside or themes inside films that are explored, not unless they are like the point of the film, they have this subtle undertone that if you understand the film, you understand what the film is trying to say without it spelling it out for you. And that's what I love about good films. That's exactly what I got out of Incredibles 2. I really want to talk about the actual storyline itself. What I really do like about this film is exactly what was in the trailer. This focus on Mrs. Incredible or Elastigirl. Her character really does. I think she is the core of the film, and so is Mr. Incredible. There is these two are pretty much the main protagonists for the films. I think that was one slight disappointment was with the three children. Like Jack gets a bit of more of a greater role, but Elastigirl and Dash don't really have too much time to shine. I don't think as much as they did in the first film, which is, I think it's fine because the way that they've made the story about Mr. Incredible and Elastigirl does kind of weigh out evenly between all of them. Like their storylines really do intertwine. It feels natural when it moves from the first act to the second and the third act. And let's just talk about what's actually in the film. I forgot how funny the first Incredibles was, and it was more this humor. The humor wasn't necessarily just like coming from superheroes, but rather the humor was family based. So I think the best example, it could be a poor example depending on your taste on TV shows, but it was like Modern Family. The comedy comes from playing between roles and activities that families do or certain family members do, and just balancing that. I think what's in here in Incredibles is that they now intertwine superhero elements into that comedy, which makes it even funny. Like if you understand, you can move through dimensions, you can make fun of that and this, and I love how they structured the comedic dialogue around these characters. in terms of like the actual fun in the film, the actual action scenes, and just when everything starts to go down, the Incredibles theme comes on, and you have your superhero film, and I love that. I love how classical it is. Like, think about it this way: 14 years ago, we didn't have the MCU. We didn't have the explosion as such of superhero films that we do over the last decade. So, the kind of vibe I get from Incredibles 2 is that it's retaining, like it knows where it's from. It knows that this is a film or a sequel to a movie that was almost 15 years ago. I think that works in its favor. And I don't mean it's using nostalgia. I just mean there's this golden age hero vibe in the film. Like, in terms of the score and how the costumes, I love that very comic book, like very, tights and spandex look that they're going for and vibe they're going for the characters, and just the action scenes as well. Saving the day, looking on cop radars, wanting to seek out crime. I love that. I was like, that was a very much. It wasn't cheesy. It was just well done in the idea of this golden age of heroes they were going for. But that's about it. Now, I did promise a review on Hereditary. That's still coming. I decided to just film this one first, knowing that everything's just a bit more fresher in my mind, so it comes off a bit more naturally. I don't think I've made like one bad joke during this review. That surprises me more than it surprises you. And we are still very much close to 100 subscribers. I really do mean what I said a couple of videos ago about doing that ASMR thing. Yes, it is a bit of a joke, but I'm just happy to get to a first milestone. So, as always, I do hope that you enjoyed this view. Thanks for stumbling upon this. Hope it was your cup of tea. But if it wasn't, I'm sorry. Hopefully, better stuff will be out for you guys, reviews and content that you may enjoy later. But thanks for giving me a shot anyway. I've got my Instagram here. I post my photography, cinematography, and like reviews and little snippets there and there, and a bit of just my personal life as well. So you get to know me more than just see through screen. Give us a follow if you like. Like and subscribe if you did like this video, and I'll see you guys in the next review. Peace.